What's up, everybody? I'm Tommy McCollister, and welcome to the High Level Husband Podcast. I'm back again today with my wife, Dianne. She seems to be everybody's favorite guest when we have on here. So bring on the women. As I know, as a lot of the husbands, what's one of the cool things is men like to hear the women's perspective on a lot of the different topics and a lot of the different things. And so that's what I love about this dynamic. I love that's how the way we coach and do all those different things too is bringing in my wife from time to time and having her tell it from the woman's side because that's what we're all trying to, have the other half of our marriage or impress or get sex from or whatever is
Yeah,
from that aspect. Not that this podcast is just for men, but it's just great to have the women's perspective. So
very true.
I'm pumped on this episode. So this one was, we were sitting poolside yesterday after our workout and we were talking and we were just having this great conversation. And the biggest thing, and I'm going to be like cliche in this moment, is like, all you think about is sex. Well, I'm going to be real because of the type of people that we coach and because of our social media, of the DMs we get or the comments on our posts and things like that. So you can tell you can not only just tell, but you can smell the desperation and the tension on these men from a mile away on that topic right there.
100%.
And so if we can do that from where we're at, we already know the wives are at that same exact spot, smelling it from a mile away because they're living with you.
Yeah.
Whereas we're just seeing it in comments and DMs and things like that. And then even with people that we're coaching, like these are stigmas and things we have to remove from them to be able to get the relationship and their marriage to where they want it to be. And what's crazy is like everybody just thinks like, I don't care where your marriage is at. If all of a sudden you were having sex every single day, you would get a small boost in your marriage, but it wouldn't change your life very much. I promise you that. Everybody thinks that's the same way everybody thinks when they get like rich, it's going to change their life. It barely changes their life. It brings in a tiny, tiny bit of security, but even then it switches the mindset of like, okay, well now I can't live without this. Like you're living in a place of from fear. And so it's really weird when it happens. So sex in the marriage, when you have that pressure and tension, it's going to repel your spouse. It's the exact thing that will get you even less of it. One,
Yes.
and I was going to jump in on this in just a second, but one, because they see that all your actions are hopes that you're going to get sex. B, they're going to see your hints, your suggestions, and all that things, and your touches and all of that are for you to get sex. And then C, when you don't get it, they're going to watch your attitude change. They're going to watch the frustration change. And then that's going to build a wall of resentment and frustration between the two of you, all just from freaking sex. And I'll be real with you, at the end of the day, we've all had sex probably 10,000 times in our life. It's cool. It's not the end all be all, believe me. A deep relationship with God trumps it by a million times.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing conversations with your spouse trumps it up by a million times. Having amazing friends and living on purpose in your life trumps it all. But so many people think that that one thing right there will make them happy.
I think they're obsessed with the idea of it.
Right. They're obsessed with the idea of it. And because of it, it's ruining their marriage.
Yeah.
It's literally ruining their marriage in so many ways. Well, that obviously goes back into a lot of different topics where it comes down to what's really going on inside of them, of why they actually feel they need sex and all that. We're not going to make this episode about this, but we're going to break multiple different things down about this topic. And so one of the things that we see is we actually did a reel. We're doing a reel on this one and we're going to put it out, is like, I don't know about you guys, but I've definitely known a lot of people in my life who've said this. We've been together for so long now. I've never said this. I guess maybe one of the times when I was single years ago, I guess I could feel this, but was this: when you're dating somebody, you feel like all the other girls want you, and they actually kind of do. Not all, but a lot more. And then when you're single, it's crickets, or there's a couple, right? But it doesn't feel like it felt before, that they were all after you.
Yeah.
And the reason why being is because when you're dating somebody, you're just being your normal, confident self around other people. All the other girls, you're not no agenda of like, oh, I'm going to flirt with this girl. I'm going to try to get her number. And then because of that, maybe tonight I'm trying to get some sex from her, things like that. It's just you being you. And because of that, it's attractive.
Yeah.
There's no pressure, there's no tension, there's no nothing about it. It's just you being you, and that's attractive. But as soon as you're single and you try to like now that same girl, you're like flirting with them, you're like trying to get their number.
You're trying too hard.
And it's now not yourself that's
Yeah.
attractive, and they know it, and they can smell that desperation and tension. They're like, I'm not really interested in you anymore. That's how it is in marriage. That's 100% how it is in marriage. I mean, I know you did a post about this earlier today. I don't know if you want to jump in on top of this in a specific
I
way.
did. You know, I feel like men are, you know, they mean well. They tried, and it's not all men, of course, but they mean well. But they're trying to have touch with their wives and things like that. But we can tell when it's a touch of just, I love you and I just love you so much and appreciate you and I honor you. And you can tell the difference between that and like a touch of like, let's just go. I want to go jump in the bed right now. You know, you can feel the difference of the neediness and desperation, as Tommy was saying about that. And so, like, man, you got to start realizing how you come across, how it's being perceived on the other end.
Yeah. Because what happened, there was a situation where we had put out a post about being playful in your relationship, which is just so huge, which is what you're doing when you're dating somebody with that same scenario.
Yeah.
You're just being your normal self, which is probably cracking jokes, laughing, and just doing all these other things and just being playful at top of already being a confident type of person and and all of that stuff. Well, then in your marriage, I put out a post about that, and I was like, man, we need to be playful. We need to be, because like me and Dianne are always joking with each other. It's
nonstop,
especially with our kids, where it's just fun, and it's just like we're having just such lighthearted conversations. Yes, me and Dianne have serious, next level, game changing, let's take territory conversations, but it's also then we can go from that to like cracking jokes and having this like playful relationship. So we're literally the best of both worlds. Whereas, so we put out a post about that, and it was one guy after another who was like, I've been trying to be playful with my wife. I've been like
hugging, kissing, touching. And we're like, we weren't talking about touching.
Yeah.
We're talking about just being playful as a person.
Not like, so like being playful means that you need to like touch your wife and do all that. Maybe that could be part of it at times, but like every single was like, oh, and it was this one person after another. And I was like, this shows that their mind, their heart, they're like a missile that's being shot from a fighter jet that's like a locked on missile. That's all they can think about. It can't go anywhere else but that one destination. They're saying sex, touch, sex, sex. And it's crazy. So it shows in their heart that it's an idol. Now, if you're a faith-filled person, that's God also trying to show you that it's an idol in your life, that you need to remove that. Because now that's becoming such an idol in your life. It's ruining your faith life. It's ruining your marriage. It's ruining your kids' life, because then they don't see parents that are having fun and having this amazing marriage because of that. You know, at the end of that reel that we did, the end, Dianne said something about like chasing me around and things like that. I mean, I'd like to just touch on that, like a little bit of like how it is just like attractive.
Yeah. I mean, if you're not coming across needy or desperate, and you're just being your true, genuine self, that is such an attractive trait. If you're just being confident, you're working on yourself, you're building yourself, that is so attractive. And so, yeah, I chase him around and I initiate a lot because of it, because he does those things and he's not needy. If he was needy all the time, I'd stand back.
Right. Like if I was doing that and it was all my mind was on, she would feel that and she'd be like, dude,
back off.
Like Dianne loves sex just as much as I do. Right. And like I said, she probably initiates just as much as I do. But at the same time, if I was just like this guy on the prowl at all times, that's all I thought about, she'd be like, dude, there's more to life than this, dude. Like, I love God. I love my kids. I love serving other people. I love growing our business. I love doing all these other things. I love the purpose in my life. I don't want
to be married to you.
Like, just, I want to be my best friend.
Yeah.
Now, we just get to have sex because of that, but it's not like the only thing.
No.
And like nobody wants that to be the only thing. I'll be real with you. I love sex. I don't want that to be the only thing. That would be way too much. And it'd be, after a while, be like, gosh, there's going to be more to life than this. Like we've said, with people who all of a sudden get money and cars and trips and all that stuff. We've had that. My most depressing season of my life was when I had unlimited free time, a ton of money, trips around the world. And I hated my life because I got what the world said you needed. And it wasn't that great.
Yeah.
So if you think that your marriage is all of a sudden your happiness is going to go through the roof, if all of a sudden your wife's having sex with you every day, that's going to change it. It might help it a little bit because you're having sex, but it's not one going to be real because one, your wife has to want to have sex with
Mm-hmm.
you,
Mm-hmm.
but she doesn't want to have sex with that version that you are right
No,
now.
she's not going to enjoy it even if she's not attracted to you in that way.
Right.
If she's doing it just to like to check off a box.
I was just talking with somebody yesterday, and this guy just joined our program, and you can tell already he's going to get crazy transformation because of the type of guy he is. But he said, my wife will have sex with me now. That's not an issue. He says, but you can tell she's just not like overly interested in it. And it's not like,
Mm-hmm.
but she's doing it because she loves me and we have a good marriage. But she's not like, man, I got to have my husband and things. He says, I
Mm-hmm.
want that type of passion.
Yes.
When you get that, it's because she is hunting you down and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to run through a couple of things here, and I'm going to use another. I used another example when we were talking at the pool yesterday, maybe because we were at the pool and there was half naked chicks running around.
Yeah.
Man, I'm going to touch on that for a second. Women, have some freaking decency in your life and don't need to have thong bathing suits at
the gym pool.
at the gym pool. If you're by yourself at your home pool, cool. But when you're out in public, literally have some decency about yourself. No, you don't need to wear a one piece, but you don't need to be butt naked basically out there. Have some respect in yourself out there.
Yeah.
And yes, I'm going hard on that, but have some respect in it. I'm telling you, we're not meant to just get butt naked like that and to show the world everything.
Mm-hmm.
Have a little class in that stuff. So maybe I'm getting offending some of you, but then maybe this isn't the right podcast for you. And men, if you like that with the half naked chicks running around at the pool, you just found out why you have a giant idol of sex in your life.
Yes.
Believe me. But with that being said, we were talking about, I said, let's put it this way, babe. I said, let's just say it's the hottest girl in the world, whoever that is. Or that would be different for everybody, but let's just say for you, whoever's listening, your ideal hottest girl. Let's just say you go to, and we'll say,
or hottest guy
if it's a female looking, but this is, I'm assuming there's more females, but let's just say it's the hottest girl or the hottest guy, right? And then if it's a female listening to this, let's say it's the
hottest girl.
You go to the bar, right? Now, do I recommend hanging at a bar? No, that's not the high level person. That's a whole nother topic.
Yeah.
But let's just go in there. Let's say you're at a bar. You go in and there's this hot girl there. You start asking around, and what you found out was this chick is the slut of the bar. But let's just say she's the hottest girl you've ever seen, and this chick just gets run through by everybody and has been already. In your mind, you might think, yeah, maybe I'll give her a swing or two. And I'm saying this is not, as a Christian man, you shouldn't be thinking this, but I'm just using as a scenario here.
Or a married person.
Right, as a married person. I'm just using this as a generic scenario here. You're going to think to yourself like, okay, but that because she is that slut, that lowers her attraction.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you same person now looking your ideal hottest chick. You see her in that scenario. She's maybe not there very often. She's on one and you're asking out around about her, finding out about her. But yet she's not the person that sleeps around. She's driven. She's focused. She takes well kept of herself. She has a spiritual life on point, but she has no desire. She's not there that night scoping who she can sleep with. She's not getting trashy drunk, anything like that. She's there just hanging out with some friends. That person is 100 times more attractive than the girl who just been run through by everybody in that bar before.
You could get that one. So,
and it's just like it's that desperation on that other one. That other chick's searching for something to fill a void. It's not that she just loves sex. She's trying to fill a void. Same thing for us in marriage. We're trying to fill a flesh wound of something to get that. I promise you, there's so much more. We were having this conversation just yesterday too, and I was just telling her, I go, babe, it's kind of weird. Don't take this the wrong way. I said, but I'm finding myself less and less like wanting to have sex all the time. Like desire, we still have it, 3 to 4 times a week. But I go, babe, it's just my desire is not the same. And we talked about this for like a half hour about like different scenarios and things. And I said, it's because though, babe, because our relationship is getting so much deeper and deeper. Our faith life with God is just getting closer and closer. God's blowing our minds on like daily with like situations and scenarios that just are unexplainable. And so we're just like, dude, I'm seeking the Lord more than anything. I just want to love on his people more than anything. And because of that, I'm so in my purpose. And because I'm just so enough in myself, like I don't need to just get laid that day. I'm not saying we remove that, but my perspective on which sex has changed.
Yeah.
Do we still have sex? Yes.
Yes.
We had that conversation yesterday. Guess what? Last night we had sex, right? Like, and so it's not like, well, now we're never going to have sex again. No, what I'm saying is because of that, though, it helps with there's no desperation at all
Yes.
that she's after me. So last night I took off my shirt. I was about to go jump in the sauna and she was going to go take a shower. And I took off my shirt and she's like, dang, you looking good. And she's like, am I going to get some of this tonight or what? Like, let me ask you guys, like, does your wife say things like that to you? And I'm not using that to brag, guys, because she used to never say that to me ever for probably the first 14, probably 13 years of our marriage.
Yeah. Crazy.
So it's not like, yo, man, I'm just the coolest guy. No, guys, it's the way we lead ourselves. And I say this because I have a place of authority now in this. And I want to encourage you that it's available for you. So it isn't like I just was born into this and it's just always been there.
No.
So it's there when that neediness is a thing. Just be yourself. We have a couple of scenarios we want to jump through here. But this might be a weird one. But
is it the one I think you're gonna say?
Well, we don't like dog. I like dogs, but we don't have dogs because I ain't trying to bathe that thing. If we travel a lot, so I'm not trying to find a house for that thing. And I am definitely not picking up dog poop. Let's put it that way. So we have 2 cats to take care of themselves. They're self-sufficient, but we can love on them. Anyways, when I go to bed at night, I have this one cat, and this cat's obsessed with me.
He's both of us, but
Both
a little
of us,
more you,
but a
yeah,
little bit more.
He's kind of needy.
And I get in bed, and this dude's just up on my grill. Like if I'm trying to read the Bible, he's like laying on it, and like I just can't. And he's a big cat. And anyways, and so, but at nighttime, that's the time of day I want to love on him because during the day, I don't get, 1, he gets cat hair all over me, and 2, I just don't have time to love on him during the day. So at night, when I turn the light off, I do want him to lay there so I can love on him, but he leaves. But here's the thing. He comes back in the middle of the night, every single night, and he's either laying on Diane's like neck, just purring. He'll either lay like in between my legs, and then he's this cat that just moves nonstop. And so he just wakes you up a million times. I want him in the perfect amount. I like that he lays there and then leaves, but he ruins it by keeps coming back for more and more and more and more and
He's
more
too
and more.
needy.
Too needy. And then I'm like, dude, get out of here. So now guess what? We have to lock him out of the room. We have to lock him out of the room at night and say, sorry, dude, now you can't get any at all. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah.
Is your wife locking you out of sex because you're that cat that just keeps coming back? Like, I'm touching her. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. You never do this. You never, like.
It's all that's on your mind.
It's all on your mind. Just like that's all that's on that cat's mind is like, it literally will watch me walk around the house and it'll follow me, waiting for me to sit down. I have to choose a chair in the house where it can't jump up on me because it'll jump up on me no matter where I go. That's what you're doing to your wife. And you probably think you're not. And even if it's not that where you're like up on her making a move, she knows all your actions, thoughts, and attention are about that.
Yes.
And because of that, it's the same thing as that cat just laying on me.
Yeah.
You need to get that spot to where you could care less about sex ever again in your life. Like literally care less. You have to let that sex desire in you die.
Remove that expectation,
desire, and all of that, and watch what happens. The guy who's coming on my podcast on this next episode is a client of ours whose life, 1, his testimony, wait till you get blown away by his testimony of the hardship he's had in his life, but B, what's happening in his marriage, and how C, his wife is chasing him down when she was having nothing to do with him, and now she's literally begging him to have sex with her. But before, he was doing all of these things.
Yes, all the wrong things.
Sex on his mind. And he's like, bro, same thing with me now. Like, I could care less. I'm just like growing so much in my faith, in my fitness, in my business, the friendships that are coming in my life, all of this stuff. He's like, plus my marriage, our conversations were growing so much. And it's just so amazing. Killing it as a parent, all these things. And guess what? His wife, because of that, is chasing him down. But in his mind, he doesn't like, I just need sex all day long. I just need sex all day long. It's that people I just need money all day long. I'll be happy when I get money. I'll be happy when this happens. I'll start. And it's like, man, freaking enjoy life, bro. Freaking A, man. It's annoying. It's so annoying.
What I do to the cat is I stop and I put my hand in his face. Same thing. It's like same thing I would do to him if he was like needy. Like, stop.
Right. So there's one last scenario is that we have this other person in our life, and he's always wanting his wife to notice the things that he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
So he was having a scenario where he was building something at his house for her recent at their house, and he's always trying to have sex with his wife, and she's they will and they sometimes won't, but he's just like, man, he's like, I was building something, and then she asked one of our family friends to come help me. I mean, I really did need help, but at the same time, I just wanted to do it all myself because I wanted to get all the attention for it. Then she'll see that I did it. And I literally was like, you got to be joking me that you just said that right now. You're saying that because you want all the attention for it. So then that she'll love you more and then she'll sleep with you. Dude,
Yeah.
what if you were just yourself and you're like, yeah, dude, that'd be awesome if he comes over. We'll bang this out. Then afterwards, you're like, you guys are hanging out. You're just having a good time, enjoying each other, being yourself, being playful.
Mm-hmm.
Then when you guys go down the night, she's not thinking, oh, well, he didn't do 95% of that project by himself. He actually had a 50-50. So now, you know what? I'm not pulling my panties off for him tonight. No, 0%. She's just like, dude, we had a great day. The project got accomplished.
Yeah.
Friends came over. We were having a great time. There was no bickering, no nothing. We're just enjoying each other.
Right.
And you know what? I feel like I'm like have something sex tonight. Then she will go initiate. It's simple.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as we were like, well, I want all the attention. Why are you going to invite him over? I can do it myself. I'm enough in myself. By you saying that, it shows your confidence and your self-worth is low.
Yeah.
So, guys, I get so fired up sometimes on these things for me. I know I probably come across like a jerk at times, but at the end of the day, I really do just love you guys all much. I just get fired up because one, that was me. And two, gosh, there's so much more for you. You have to die to self on this. You literally have to. And sometimes people will DM us or message us like, well, what I do is I just remove sex fully. I don't even care now. Like that's they say, I don't even care. Well, yeah, you do because you're commenting on somebody's posts about sex. And so you do care. Two, and so then I just pulled back. Well, dude, in a heartbeat, you would go back the other way. It's not that your frustration is 1000% showing.
Mm-hmm.
You've changed the way you love and serve your wife because she's not giving sex. So now you're just cold and you're not doing things for her.
Yeah.
You're not being your true, authentic self.
Mm-hmm.
So no, you didn't stop caring. And maybe you thought in your head you actually did. But because of that, you also took your emotions, your love, your service, and who you're supposed to be with it.
Yeah.
So with that being said, guys, we're going to keep this one a little bit shorter. But I promise you, get to that spot where you just don't care and then just grow your true self, your purpose, know your purpose, live it, why God put you on this earth, have a deep relationship with God, get your physical fitness on health, take pride in your appearance, have amazing friends in your life, be growth driven, do all of those things. And because of that, watch how your life changes.
Yes.
I'm going to encourage a lot of you guys. A lot of people think they're doing well because they work hard at their job. They mow the lawn. They help with the kids, that their life, that they're a great husband. No, that's called being an average and being an adult.
Mm-hmm.
When you walk in a room, somebody should say there's something different about him. And if you have to question if somebody says that, then the person is you're not being that. Your physical fitness should stand out. Your joy from who you are should stand out. Your laugh, your easygoingness should all stand out.
Your presence
should just be like, there's something different about this guy. Believe me, when you have that, you will attract some of the most amazing people in your life, but your wife will be so attracted to you. There's 3 types of people in this world. 1, somebody who doesn't do what they're asked. Number 2, the person who does what they're asked, but that's the bare minimum. And 3, the person who always does above and beyond what they ask, that's asked of them. Shout out to Pastor Keith Craft for hammering this one down. It's the truth. When you're the guy who goes above and beyond in everything, you're not just 5 pounds overweight. You're freaking below the body fat percentage that every other person has. When you're tithing, you don't just tithe 10%. You're going above and beyond. When you're doing your dishes, you do everybody else's dishes. When you're in the bathroom and you're washing your hands, you don't just throw your paper towel away. You grab the one on the counter as well, and you throw that one away. Yeah. You do everything at above and beyond levels. When you do that, not only do you get filled up, you pleasing to God, and everybody else takes notice. Promise you good things are there. Stop being the average guy. Jesus says if you're lukewarm, he'll spit you out.
Yes.
The parable of the talents also had the last guy who got his talents taken away from him because he just kept it cool. He was the guy that just kept it cool. Saved it and didn't grow, just plateaued and stayed there. That's God saying that person is nothing to me. I'm taking it from him because you've decided to say, I'm too good to be great.
Yeah.
God wants you to be great. He created you for a specific reason and purpose. Go be great. And when you find that greatness, your wife will be on point. I've watched her confidence go up. I literally, right before we got on this call right here, I had to tune her up a little bit. So when we first started doing reels years ago, we've both grown since then tremendously on them.
But I was terrible.
Dianne had a lot more room to grow.
Beyond terrible.
I was way more experienced at that point in the
Yes.
time than her.
Yeah.
But now, like, I'll watch the reels and I'm like, yo, Diane's a savage on these. She's better than me. She killed me in this one, you know, and I'm just loving it. But we were getting ready to do one, and I don't know what the situation was, but it was a little bit of a longer piece for her. And she said,
I don't read well without my glasses.
And anyways, and so she was saying, she was setting the stage, and she doesn't ever do this anymore. And it was what turned me off about her.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't pursue Dianne like I pursue her now. And I didn't love her like I do now, when she was the person who she always spoke from a place of defeat rather than a place of victory.
Yeah.
She was like, oh, this is going to, and it reminded me, and I was frustrated. And I had to tell her, babe, stop speaking from a place of defeat. If this reel is challenging for you, if it's too much dialogue for your spot, then we'll fix it. But let's just say, hey, let's turn on the camera and go. She was already speaking from like, I think it's going to be too long. I'm going to have a struggle with this one. She was already speaking that. And it was frustrating me because I was like, babe, why are we talking like that? You already are having this problem. I go, that's not attractive to me at all. And that's not who you are. Let's just do it. It's like me if I say I'm going to go, if I'm a baseball player, now I'm probably going to strike out at this at bat. Like, yeah, you probably are. But if I get up there and say, hey, I'm going to get up in there, we'll see what happens.
That's right.
You might strike out still, but you also, you know what? You're also giving it your best shot. With that being said, we need to always operate from a place of victory, because what I told Dianne right after that, I go, babe, when is the most times that we have sex? Like, how many times after an amazing coaching call do I just look at you and I just like jump on you?
Because confidence is attractive.
Because on those calls, she's killing it. And I'm seeing new wrinkles in her game. I'm like, wow, where'd she learn that? Oh, wow, she's never spoke up about that before. I'm just like, whoa, this is awesome. But when it comes across as like frustration or I can't do this or anything like that, it's not attractive.
Yeah.
So if you're ever complaining in your life, whining, this, or you're frustrated, like about sex or anything else, dude, that right there,
it's killing your game.
And it might as well give your wife an anti-attraction pill for you. Not saying that life doesn't have frustrating moments, but there's a way to talk about them.
Yes.
And there's a way to complain about them.
Yeah.
There's a big difference between complaining and like, hey, can I run this by you? Like, babe, I'm kind of like, gotta be to tell you the truth, I'm kind of struggling with this right now. That's not complaining. Yeah. That's like, hey, I'm sharing this with you. Yeah. Be like, you know what? Here's a complaint. My freaking boss, that dude, he's always an a-hole. You know, he's never going to give me a freaking raise. I've been there for 5 years, and that dude never gives me a freaking raise. He gave, Steve a raise, but he never give me a raise. That's complaining.
Yeah. Or if your spouse is telling you, like, comes to you nicely and it gives you some constructive criticism, like, I notice that you're doing X, Y, and Z. Be acceptive of it and change those things.
Right.
Not get mad at them.
So there's a way to do everything.
Yeah.
And it's just like, hey, like, what's your thoughts on this? And so anyways, we got to tell you guys that about the sex thing, because it's that tension, that pressure is getting smelt from a mile away, like so far away. It's kind of like, you ever go on a walk and then like, you're like, somebody's cooking, somebody's barbecuing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can smell it. That's how it is for wives with desperation around sex. They can read it on your face.
Yes.
They can see it on your face. They can read it in your body language and all the other things that they're doing. And it's over with for you. It's over with.
Yeah.
So we got to tell you guys, please. And let me just do this one thing. If your sex starts coming back in your marriage and she initiates, that doesn't mean it's a green light for you to be like, okay, she initiated last night. Green light today. Let's go have sex. Let's go have sex.
Yeah.
Let's go have sex.
Yeah.
Tonight, are we going to have sex? Are we going to have sex? And I know that's not the way you do it. But what is she going to do tonight? Is she going to initiate tonight? Maybe I should initiate tonight.
Yeah.
Dude, now you're just an addict again. I don't know if you've ever been a real addict. I have. That's all you think about is, when can I get the drugs? Do I have enough money for drugs? Only 3 more hours and I can call him again and see if he's home. When I get off work today, I can go get this. Like, that's all you think about. That's how so many people are for sex in their marriage. Sex is a huge part of marriage, but it's also not a huge part of the marriage. you need to make sure that everything else is good. And that will get there because you just attract it because you're amazing.
Yeah.
Not because they owe you anything. So, much love.
Bye.
Hey, one last thing. One last thing. I want to touch on this. If you are inspired by any of those the testimonies we talked about, you want deeper stuff on this, book a consultation to jump on a call. Now, I'm telling you, this is not a free coaching call. This is not a free advice call.
Yes.
This is to get on there, see where you're at, where you want to be, and tell you how we can get you there. We work with very high level CEOs, professional athletes, business owners, and all other types of people. This is for people who are serious and committed. Mm-hmm. This isn't for people who are just want to come on and complain and maybe give them some free tips. I'm here to love on you. I will support and love on you during that call, but it is about getting you in so we can really, really love on you. If that's you, book a call. Let's talk and see if we're a good fit. So, much love.